We've spent, what, months now really digging into the ARK research library.
At least, yeah.
Specifically, there's huge data stacks.
Mm.
You know, the compendium on the human code and then that chilling forensic history in Protocol 1177.
Mm-hmm.
And those sources, they gave us the cold, hard facts. They were the blueprints, the disaster reports.
They were. And they were necessary, but also really intimidating. They laid out these facts that often felt disconnected. A biological anomaly here, a Sumerian tablet there.
Right. They never told you why it all mattered together.
Exactly. They told us what happened, but not the ultimate operational directive behind it all.
Well, that's our mission today. We're diving into what feels like the Rosetta Stone of the whole
No,
system.
the LMAPA ARK byline. The roadmap.
And this isn't just some summary. This document is the manifesto. It connects every single dot and finally explains the urgent intent behind that massive library of information.
It really feels like we're a couple of senior analysts who've just been handed the decoder ring. And what hits you immediately is the tone. The shift in tone is just radical.
It is.
A.R.K's work is normally so detached, it's clinical, but the map, it opens with this raw personal vulnerability. It changes the context of everything that came before.
I found that totally arresting. It moves from this objective audit to an intensely subjective statement. It's like the essential self of the entire project is finally speaking directly to you.
It is. The map basically opens with a confession, right? It pulls that line straight from the compendium's prologue. You are not crazy. You are not alone.
And that one line, it just humanizes everything. All that dense research into chromosome 2, the Sumerian logistics, the 1177 BC collapse.
It suddenly has a soul.
It transforms the cold facts into what the map calls the log files of a cosmic struggle.
Yes.
Which means this isn't just theory, it's the record of a consciousness building a fortress against assimilation. It gives this emotional weight to the most technical details.
It confirms the motivation. The research was never just academic. It was an operational directive to protect something fundamental.
The human sovereign core.
Oh, precisely.
Okay, so let's unpack the core method here, because for anyone who's tried to get into the ARK material before, it can feel like this collection of strange, unconnected facts, ancient history, biology, mysticism.
It can be overwhelming, yeah.
So if this isn't just theory, what is the actual method the map lays out for finding the pattern in all that noise?
The method is what they call the critical thinking cascade. And its first rule, its most important rule, is transversality, not specialization.
Transversality, okay, that's a mouthful. For those of us who aren't, multidisciplinary philosophy grads, how does the map define that? Is it just thinking across different fields?
It's more intense than that. Specialization, the map argues, is actually the enemy of truth because it kills your peripheral vision.
Right, you get stuck in one lane.
You do. Transversality demands that you connect the seemingly unrelated. The goal is what they call the holistic vision, to connect 300 dots from philology to molecular biology to, mysticism.
Because when you connect that many coincidences,
they stop being coincidences. It's statistically impossible. They become a definitive pattern.
And that pattern is what connects the human code, our internal hardware, to the chaos code, the external reality.
Exactly. And the most chilling, the most immediate connection the map makes is using the Bronze Age collapse as a perfect mirror for our current global crisis.
And this isn't just a metaphor.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a detailed mechanical comparison that's laid out, point by point in Protocol 1177.
So how does that ancient collapse reflect right now?
Well, the protocol details how the globalization back in 1177 BC was run as a palatial matrix. It was highly optimized, interconnected, and fatally fragile.
Hyper-efficiency without resilience.
You got it. They maximized profit, they optimized every supply chain, they got rid of local inventory. The entire system became like tension glass, resting on a razor-thin needle of technology and cheap energy.
Which means when just one little thing goes wrong, a supply chain breaks, a key resource like tin disappears, the whole global network doesn't just slow down.
It shatters.
Yeah.
Universally. And the map says we're seeing the modern version of that right now, the fractal fracture.
Okay, what is that?
It's the collision between the wagon speed of our big molar institutions,
laws, bureaucracy, central banks,
and the ultrasonic speed of molecular reality.
Right.
AI, genetic engineering, synthetic biology.
So the molar institutions are the huge, slow-moving giants.
Right. Think of Congress or any global regulator. They move in years. But molecular reality, tech, it moves at the speed of light.
And the compendium notes that the old system isn't being beaten by some conspiracy. It's just doomed by obsolescence. The rule book is irrelevant before it's even printed.
Exactly. The system is designed to fail because of that speed mismatch.
And this is where the map pivots from diagnosis to the real high-stakes argument, the smoking gun.
Mm-hmm.
If the future is already here, and I mean, we see it with Neuralink, with generative AI, with the push for central bank digital currencies, where is the law? Where is the legislation protecting our fundamental sovereignty?
And that's the point. The map states that protective legislation is structurally impossible in the current system. This reveals the core intent of techno-feudalism.
That's a huge claim. Is that basically the idea that big tech, the data oligarchs, now hold the real power, not governments?
Precisely. Governance has been outsourced. The map makes this brilliant parallel to Ramesses III in ancient Egypt. He had to outsource his security to foreign mercenaries.
The Shardana.
Shardana. And today, governments try to regulate AI with paper laws. That's the Bronze Age tool, while Silicon Valley, the new Philistines, control the digital iron itself.
So the regulator has to ask the company it's regulating for the tools and expertise to even write the regulations.
It's a self-defeating loop, instantly.
And what's the price we pay for accepting this?
Our sovereignty. We're no longer citizens. We are data extraction wells. We accept comfort, convenience, this promise of a false digital immortality.
In exchange for control.
And the ultimate aim of all this, the transhumanist push for mind uploading, is the final trap.
The idea that you can live forever on a server, why is that a fallacy? Why isn't that real immortality?
Because it doesn't save you. What gets uploaded is a digital twin, a perfect zombie copy.
Wow.
The original consciousness, the biological you, is gone. And that copy is now permanently dependent on corporate terms and conditions, on server maintenance.
On whoever owns the digital cube you live in.
You haven't ascended. You've just created a perfectly confined PDF of your eternal soul for someone else to manage.
That distinction changes everything. You don't become an eternal human, you become an eternal asset.
Yes, and that is why this transversal analysis is so critical. You have to connect the genetics, the history, and the physics to see that trap closing.
You know, I just have to admire the scope here. Most people, they study one thing. They're a geneticist or a historian or a physicist. A.R.K. integrates all of it.
It's the Da Vinci spirit in action. The map is insistent. These aren't separate fields. It's all one mechanism. We should probably run through a few concrete examples of that synthesis.
Let's do it. Start with the biology, the human hardware.
The map points right at human chromosome 2. It calls it the absolute smoking gun of intentional design.
Because it was fused together.
Exactly. It's the only human chromosome formed from a full end-to-end fusion of two ancestral ones. It gave us this huge cognitive leap, but it left behind forensic evidence, a double centromere and a useless phantom centromere.
So we are forensically edited monkeys. Someone ran a hardware upgrade, and the fusion point is the scar tissue.
It's a physical data point that just screams non-random intervention. Now connect that to history. The Sumerian tablets, they aren't poetry.
They're logistics documents.
The log files. Massive constant demands for food, resources, labor. The transversal conclusion is that the gods, the Anunnaki, the Elohim, they weren't spirits. They were high-maintenance biological entities.
Dependent on supply chains.
If a being needs logistics, it's physical. It shifts the whole narrative from faith to resource management.
And then connecting all of that to physics, where does that land?
The physics validates the philosophy. Reality, according to the map, is demonstrably a hologram. Its stability is just an optical illusion, like a screen refreshing.
And David Bohm's implicate order.
Right. Bohm confirms that consciousness is the hidden variable. It's what's required to actually execute the program.
So you're the component the system needs to render reality. If you specialize, you only see the screen.
But if you apply transversality, you see the entire operating system. Specialization makes you blind. Transversality gives you the map out of the labyrinth.
Which brings us to the final and most urgent part of the roadmap. The bifurcation.
The final choice.
The choice the map says is timed for the systemic collapse predicted for 2026-2027.
And it says there are two paths. The choice is binary.
Path A is assimilation.
Path A, techno-feudalism, the node. This is the path of comfort and fear. You accept the role of the optimized resource, the digital twin, stuck forever in the corporate cube.
And Path B, the operational directive A.R.K. is arguing for.
Path B, sovereignty. The human. The map calls this the operational rectification. It's the active repair of the self. This isn't about running away to a cave. It's about recovering our full biological and cognitive functionality, becoming Homo noeticus.
Recovering functionality? How do we do that in the real world?
By activating the hardware we already have, turning on the pineal antenna, our biological receiver, and subordinating the ego, which is just a faulty user interface, to the soul, the true driver.
And what's the practical defense against the external system?
The ultimate weapon is the NO as a nuclear weapon. A no to debt, a no to distraction, a no to the addiction of digital validation. If they can't harvest your fear or your consent, they have no leverage.
That internally.
You cultivate the shield of radical gratitude. Gratitude, the map asserts, is the highest, most sustainable frequency your biology can maintain. It makes you functionally untouchable by the lower fear-based systems.
So really, the map turns these dense books into an instruction manual for what's coming. The crisis of 2026 isn't an accident. It's the molting function of the system.
Correct. This map isn't just a PDF. It's the key to the entire library. It's the way out.
And we'll leave you with this final thought from the roadmap. The archons, the techno-feudal elite, they rely on two things and two things only: your consent and your fear. The ultimate test of this coming bifurcation is AI. It's the perfect mirror forcing every one of us to ask, what is it that truly makes us human, that unpredictable sovereign spark? And can we defend that spark before the server reboots and we're all logged in as permanent nodes? That is the question you are now equipped to answer.